When the mail-order bride feels unwanted, a little girl's whisper changes everything forever. At 3 am clock struck 3, its echo slicing through the stillness of the night like a knife. In the small town of Maplewood, darkness cloaked every street, but in a little weather-beaten house, a single light flickered on, casting eerie shadows that danced along the walls. Inside, Elena, a mail-order bride feeling lost and unwanted, sat on her bed with a heart heavy as lead. The silence felt suffocating, pressing down on her chest with a weight she could hardly bear. Just when she thought the darkness had swallowed her whole, a whisper echoed from the corner of the room, chilling her bones. "Mommy." The voice was faint, like the last gasp of a firefly in twilight. Elena turned, her heart racing. Her daughter, Lily, stood there, her small figure outlined by the dim light. Her wide eyes sparkled, reflecting something otherworldly. One moment everything felt still and dead, the next, there was a thick, pulsating pulse of mystery hanging in the air. Lily was supposed to be asleep. "Lily, what are you doing up?" Elena's voice trembled. As the little girl stepped closer, the air seemed to grow colder, wrapping around them like a ghostly embrace. "It's late, you need to rest." But Lily just stared, her expression unnaturally serious for a child. "There is someone here," she declared with a certainty that sent shivers down Elena's spine. A bone-deep sense of dread settled in her gut. Was it just a figment of her imagination? Or was there truly something other lurking in the shadows, waiting until the darkness fell heavy and the world fell silent? As Elena's breath quickened, she glanced towards the window. The moon hung high, casting an eerie glow over everything, its light illuminating the corners of the room where the shadows seemed to swell. She could hear the distant rustle of leaves outside, almost as if they were whispering secrets. A chill crept through her. Tension thickened the air like a heavy fog rolling in, wrapping its cold fingers around her throat, squeezing tight. "Mommy, can you hear it?" Lily asked, her voice low and haunting. "They're singing." What was she talking about? Singing. The word dripped with an unsettling sweetness that hinted at both enchantment and dread. The hairs on the back of Elena's neck stood on end. Before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The silence grew thicker now, pregnant with tension. Even the air felt electric, as if something was about to snap. "What do you mean, singing?" Elena whispered, barely able to keep her voice steady, a lump forming in her throat. Lily's eyes widened, glistening with unshed tears, a silent plea for understanding. "I don't want to be here alone anymore," she said, her tiny voice carrying the weight of a profound sadness. And then came a soft, uncanny sound, a lullaby that pulled at Elena's heartstrings like a haunting memory. It floated through the room, wrapping around her like a shroud. Was it real? Or just the insane ramblings of an exhausted mind? As Elena turned to search the corners of her room for the source, she felt an unshakable connection forming between the two of them, a bond so deep it threatened to engulf her whole. Then, a figure shifted in the shadows, a silhouette that made her stomach drop and palms sweat. Who was it? With trembling hands, she clasped Lily's and steeled herself, ready to confront the unknown in the dark depths of night. The whisper echoed again. It was just the beginning. What awaited her next would change everything forever. The moment felt electric, a live wire sparking in the heavy silence. Elena tightened her grip on Lily's small hand, the warmth of her daughter grounding her amidst the swirling shadows. The figure flickered at the edge of the dark, shifting like smoke. Elena's heart raced, each beat drumming a warning in her ears. Who was this presence? "Show yourself!" she cried, her voice a mixture of defiance and fear, trembling as it broke through the thick tension. The air felt charged, almost alive, hanging with a ghostly weight that made her skin crawl. The silhouette remained shrouded, moving closer, and with every passing second, the environment vibrated with a soft melody, intertwined with a sadness that wrapped around Elena like a fog. The lullaby lingered, sweet yet haunting, as if it emanated from the depths of the shadows themselves. "Mommy, I can't see them," Lily whispered, eyes wide, a mixture of wonder and dread clouding her innocent gaze. "Stay behind me," Elena ordered, her heart pounding against her ribs, the primal instinct to protect rising within her. Whispering, the voice of an unfamiliar visitor broke the stillness between them, a voice too soft, too soothing. "Don't be afraid." The figure slowly emerged from the dark corners of the room, revealing a woman with sorrow etched into her features. Her face was pale as moonlight, eyes glazed like glass, reflecting a longing that seemed to pierce through the veil of this world into another. If Elena didn't know better, she'd think the woman was alive. "Who are you?" Elena demanded, fighting to keep her voice steady. The woman stepped closer, gliding as if she floated above the floor. "I am the one who sings for those who feel lost." Her voice was like a caress, yet it held an undercurrent of despair. "I was drawn here by your sadness, by the pain your heart keeps hidden." Elena felt a chill settle deep in her bones. How could this woman know her pain? Who was she really? The layers of her sorrow and longing, was it exposing itself to this ghostly figure? "Mommy," Lily tugged on her sleeve, still trembling. "She wants to help us." "Help us? Help us with what?" Elena shook her head, a whirlwind of fear and confusion spinning in her mind. But as the woman's gaze met hers, she felt something resonate within, a stirring of memory that sent her reeling. "There's something you must know," the woman said, her voice echoing with urgency. "Your path is intertwined with mine. You must unlock what has been buried deep within you to free us both." Elena's heart thundered. "Unlock what? What are you talking about?" Panic sliced through her, each word tasting heavier than the last. "Your daughter is in danger," the apparition declared, her tone deepening with seriousness. "The darkness seeks her, it needs her light." Elena's breath hitched. "No. You can't have her." Lily pressed against her, the light of the room dimming, as if absorbing their very essence, while the lullaby grew louder, sweeping through the room. It swirled around them like a storm. "Stop!" Elena yelled, desperate to hush the rising chaos. "What do we have to do?" The woman extended a languid hand, eyes pleading. "You must remember the songs of your heart. Only then can you push back the shadows and reclaim what has been lost." As the word settled, uncertainty flooded Elena's mind. She felt a flicker of familiarity, but it was wonky, like an old film reel. Just then, a loud thud echoed from downstairs, violently snapping them back to reality. What was that? Elena gasped, fear pooling in her stomach. Without a second thought, they turned toward the door, hearts racing in tandem. But the inhabitant from beyond the veil whispered one last chilling warning before vanishing back into the shadow: "Time is running out, find the song before it's too late." Elena's chest tightened again. What did it mean? Would they be able to emerge from this horror? The dark corners felt closer now, closing in. The shadows themselves were alive and watching, with fear coiling around her. She steeled herself for what lay ahead. They would have to uncover the mystery and battle against the encroaching darkness that awaited them. But could they? Would they survive whatever came next? Only time would tell. The thud echoed through the house again, more pronounced this time, reverberating through the stillness like a warning bell. Elena's breath caught in her throat, a mixture of dread and a strong, instinctual need to protect Lily clenched at her core. "We have to go now." She grabbed Lily's hand tightly, pulling her toward the door. "Mommy, I don't want to leave you." Lily's voice trembled, a sharp contrast against the growing tension in the air. Elena turned to her daughter, her heart aching with the pang of panic. "I know, baby. But we can't stay here. We have to find out what is happening." She felt no choice but to confront whatever lay in wait below, the house shrouded in an ominous shadow that seemed to cling to the very walls. They crept toward the staircase, every creak of the floorboards beneath their feet sounding like gunshots in the heavy silence. Elena held her breath, straining to hear anything beyond the synchronized drumming of her own heart. The dim light from the hallway flickered, casting jittery shadows that danced like specters across the walls. "Maybe it's just the wind," Lily suggested, her voice small. Elena hesitated. The wind? No, this felt wrong. She felt it in the marrow of her bones. "Stay close," she whispered, trying to keep her own voice steady. They reached the landing at the top of the stairs just as another loud sound burst from below, a crash that sent a ripple of terror through her gut. "Lily, we have to." A flicker of light swirled at the foot of the stairs, illuminating a figure that loomed just beyond their line of sight. Elena's heart raced as she pulled Lily closer, shielding her with her body. "Who is there?" she called out, her voice to herself crackling with fear. But there was silence. Then, a soft voice, barely more than a whisper, emerged from the darkness. "Help me." Elena felt rage swell inside her. "I want to let you take her," she shouted into the void, drawing strength from her fury. As if heeding her words, the flickering light flared brighter, revealing a silhouette in the shadows. It was a young girl, perhaps around Lily's age. She was shivering, dirt smudged on her pale cheeks, her wide eyes pooling with disbelief and helplessness. "I am lost," the girl stammered, her voice trembling. The girl stepped into the light, but to Elena's horror, her features mirrored the ghostly woman from just moments ago, eyes similar, full of longing and an unshakable sorrow. Elena's heart sank. Who was this child? What did she want? "Mommy, look!" Lily gasped, her fear momentarily forgotten. Elena wanted to scream but drew in a shaky breath instead. "Why are you here? What do you want?" "I'm scared," the girl said, now visibly trembling. "The shadows, they follow me." Before Elena could respond, the room darkened. Chilling whispers filled the air, echoing the girl's words: shadows, darkness, danger. They clawed at the edges of her psyche like icy fingers reaching for her. Lily pressed against Elena, her grip tightening. "We need to help her, Mommy. She's just like me." Elena's fear melted into resolve. Could they save this girl? Was this part of the mystery they needed to unravel? A piercing intuition urged her to act. "Then we will help her," she declared forcefully, even as the panic threatened to rise again. But as she stepped closer to the girl, a guttural growl emanated from the shadows, shaking the very foundations of the house. "No!" it bellowed, and Elena stumbled back, a fierce wave of dread crashing over her like a tide. "Go home!" the girl cried out suddenly, her voice rising to a desperate plea. "They'll take you too." Elena's heart hammered wildly. Was it true? "Mommy!" Lily clutched her hand, the bond between them solid as steel. "We can't leave her." Elena's chest tightened. There was no way she could abandon a child in need, but what price would she pay for it? As icy tendrils of shadow crept closer, the air thickening with palpable fear, she realized they had no time left. "Hold on to me!" she shouted. "We're getting out of here." But before they could rush down the stairs, a furious wind erupted, shoving them back. The chilling whispers turned into screams that rattled the very spirit of the house. Elena felt her reality slipping, shadowy fingers reaching for her, dragging her into the unknown. "Mommy!" Lily screamed, and then, that familiar, haunting lullaby began to rise once more, wrapping around them like a storm, intensifying, coaxing forgotten memories to rise. Would they find the song that could push back the shadows? Or were they destined to be lost in the darkness forever? As the echoes of the past surged forward, Elena knew they had mere moments to decide. In the whirlwind of chaos around them, the truth was waiting to unveil itself. But would they be strong enough to uncover it? The shadows roared, swallowing the remnants of the fading light, and Elena's heart raced with a primal urgency. The howls of the unseen tormented her, echoing in a cacophony that vibrated through the very bones of the house. "No!" she cried, yanking Lily tighter against her side. Then, as if sensing their fear, the shadows lunged forward, slashing through the air like whispers seeking to ensnare them. "Mommy! I can't breathe!" Lily's voice cracked, her small body trembling against Elena's as the cold seeped into their skin, wrapping around them both like an unwanted cloak. "Stay with me!" Elena shouted, desperation unwinding in her chest. She peered into the creeping blackness, the weight of it pressing down on them. She could feel it, the hunger, the need of whatever dark force haunted the house. The girl's haunting plea echoed in her mind, they were not alone. The girl with dirty cheeks stood frozen, eyes wide with terror. "They don't like visitors," she whispered, her words barely audible over the eerie wailing that filled the air. "You shouldn't have come." Sensing time slipping faster, Elena stepped closer, defiance igniting within her. "We can't leave you. We need to face this together." The girl recoiled, her face twisted in anguish. "No. You don't understand. Your shadows are stronger. They want to take you forever." Elena's feet felt rooted to the floor, each heartbeat sounding like a ticking clock. The swirling darkness began to shift, almost as if forming shapes within the shadows. For just a fleeting moment, a hand could be glimpsed, long and twisted, a reminder of the fate lurking just beyond their grasp. "Mommy, don't listen!" Lily screamed, pulling at Elena with all her might. "We can't help her. We have to go." But the words enveloped Elena in a false comfort, igniting the fire of her instincts even further. "No. We're not leaving anyone behind," she yelled, her voice slicing through the chaos with fierce determination, yet the shadows rippled in response, suddenly thickening into a haze that shrouded the room. Sickening dread gripped at Elena's insides as she caught glimpses of faces writhing within the dark, lost spirits with anguished expressions. Spirits like the one who had come before, the one that had sparked their nightmare. Suddenly, another thud resounded, more violent than the ones preceding it. The foundation of the house trembled, knocking pictures off the walls, sending frames crashing on the floor below. And that lullaby, sweet and terrifying, swelled with strength, wrapping around them like serpents, constricting every hope. "Elena!" A voice suddenly boomed from somewhere inside, commanding and powerful. An old, pitiful wail mixed with authority that echoed deeply within her bones. "You must choose, save your daughter or save the lost." Elena felt as if she might lose herself in the tumult. Shadows surged forward, stretching out like fingers to claim them. "No. I want to leave you, Lily." But the girl's voice split the air, pleading. "You must. She's wrong. They will take you." The shadows tensed, the darkness swirling like a storm, captivating all light and hope. Elena's heart raced. This was the moment when they could break free. She had to focus. She had to find it, the thread that connected them to the light, the song that could break the curse. Together. "Sing with me, Lily," she urged, desperate to combat the encroaching darkness. Their voices mingled in the air, trembling notes that resonated within, drawing choked breaths from the shadows. As the notes clashed with the shadows' screams, the intensity heightened, and Elena could almost feel the connections forging anew. But even as their voices rose, the darkness fought back, a furious anger ripping through the air. "Enough!" it shrieked. Then, a blinding flash seized their attention. The girl's wide eyes caught traces of familiarity, a flicker that could ignite an understanding deeper than the darkness itself. Elena felt the grip of the shadows tightening, ready to pull them into oblivion. "Sing!" she shouted again, voice cracking, heart racing, but while they strived against the looming despair, Elena sensed an unsettling truth brewing within the girl's haunting reflection. The true darkness lay not just in those shadows, but in memories never faced. "Mommy! Help!" Lily's voice pierced through the chaos once more. Could they really save themselves from the storm closing in? Would this be a moment of rescue or reckoning, and what secrets would emerge from the shadows if they dared to sing? The darkness coiled tighter, daring them as whispers beckoned from the void. The decision weighed heavy, and as they teetered on the edge of fear and hope, Elena knew they had only moments to stand their ground before everything shattered. But would the truth that came forth from the shadows lead to salvation or be the very thing that condemned them all? Elena's heart thundered in her chest as the chilling reality of the choice pressed down on her. The shadows lurked, waiting for her decision, swirling with malice and despair. The heavy weight of uncertainty gnawed at her, the howls of the dark closing in like a vice. "Mommy, please." Lily begged, her voice small and frantic. "We have to go." But even as the words spilled out, they felt hollow. Elena looked at the girl standing in the shadows, her filthy dress tattered like the memories Elena wished to forget. This girl was a part of the house's tragic tale, a missing piece that gripped Elena's heart with invisible fingers. The swell of anguish between them buzzed in the air. She couldn't leave her behind. "Your story matters." Elena shouted into the tempest of darkness, but the shadows responded with a deafening silence that wrapped around them, thick and oppressive. The shadows fluctuated wildly, spitting out sarcasm in the whispers that slithered around them, words of despair echoing through her mind like taunts. "You think you can save her," they hissed. "You can barely save yourself." Elena clenched her fists, every nerve alive with a frantic energy. "We can do this." She yelled defiantly, searching for any glimmer of hope, gathering the last reserves of courage from deep within. "Lily, hold my hand." As Lily squeezed her hand tighter, the darkness seethed and writhed as if thrown into a frenzy. That touch, that simple connection, sparked something within Elena, a reminder of the love and hope that had endured through her own personal shadows. "You heard her," Elena called, raising her voice higher against the crescendo. "We can't lose. We are stronger together." But at that moment, the shadows shifted violently, rushing towards them with a vicious fury, their endless depths threatening to engulf everything in their path. Faces flickered in the dark, each one a remnant of loss stitched into the fabric of despair. "Elena!" The old voice bellowed again, and this time it felt closer, more powerful. "The lost cannot be saved without sacrifice." A chilling realization curled around Elena's heart, saving the girl might cost her Lily. "No!" She gasped, an icy panic piercing through her. Each breath came harder now, like choking on fears she had tried to bury. The girl's face twisted in sorrow, her eyes glistening like fragments of shattered glass. "If you do nothing, we'll all be lost," she whispered, her voice trembling. "But if you choose," the shadows hissed, hungry for the uncertainty, the fear that danced across Elena's face. "What do you want from me?" Elena cried out, her voice wavering. She scanned the swirling darkness as it pulsed, each throb matching the frantic rhythm of her heart, and then she remembered those missed moments, the shadows in her own life, lurking just beneath the surface. Was it truly worth saving someone else's pain while damning her own? "Remember," the girl's voice pierced through the chaos, soft yet demanding. "The only way to release the past is to confront it. Will you, or will you let them take you?" A terrifying stillness fell over the room. The shadows paused, suppressing their hunger, evaluating her. Elena's breaths came sharper, adrenaline fueled the flickering flame of resolve. If only they could sing louder, if only they could drown out the shadow's temptation. "Together, Lily. Sing!" Elena commanded, her voice defiantly joining the notes that echoed off the walls, summoning remnants of strength they needed. But the shadows fought back with relentless fury, twisting her song into anguished wails. Elena could feel it, the very fabric of the house vibrated with an impending cataclysm. Suddenly, the shadows reared up one last time. They surged forward, swirling like a tempest, as voices collided into a pandemonium that threatened to tear them apart. Desperation gripped Elena. Would the song be their salvation or their doom? Her gaze darted between Lily and the girl, haunted and lost, whispering the secrets of a broken past. That as shadows lunged, Elena had only a split second to decide: face the darkness or succumb to it. And in That heartbeat, a horrifying truth revealed itself, a choice no mother should ever have to make. What lay behind the shadows? What waited for them if they plunged deeper into the singing darkness? Time seemed to stretch infinitely as the shadows lunged, twisting, contorting into grotesque forms that promised nothing but despair. The air thickened, charged with a malevolence that clawed at Elena's throat. She wanted to scream, but the primal rawness of fear silenced her. "Sing, Mommy." Lily's urgent voice broke through, its innocence a stark contrast to the chaos around them. She squeezed Elena's hand tighter, as if it were a lifeline in this sea of darkness. Elena felt a loss sharp enough to pierce her heart. Her daughter was her light, her reason to fight. "We can't let them win." She conjured the strength she needed, desperation fueling her voice. "We have to take it back." Elena's heart surged with the desperate hope that flickered like a candle in the storm. "Lily, let us push them back together." With a trembling breath, she found the resolve to continue their song, linking her voice with her daughter's. They sang not just to combat the encroaching darkness but to embrace the flicker of hope that dared to exist amid the chaos. The shadows quaked, their forms writhing as the song pierced through their dense, choking grasp. For a fleeting moment, the darkness hesitated. There was a soft glow beneath the layers of shadow, illuminating the heart of the storm. But then the shadows retaliated, a chorus of anguish rising steadily to drown out their melody. It morphed into a deafening roar that enveloped them, tendrils slashing at their resolve. Faces of sorrow flashed, mouths wide with horrific cries, urging Elena toward surrender. "Mommy." Lily's voice wobbled, fear twisting her small features. "I'm scared. I don't want to be here." "Neither do I, baby. But we can't back down now." The weight of her promise to both Lily and the girls surged through her. "We are stronger than this darkness." The room vibrated as the shadows churned, a tempest unleashing violent energy that clawed at her skin. The whispers escalated, each one an echo of doubt and despair. "You're losing her, you know. You'll lose them both. Why struggle?" But then she looked at the girl still lingering among the shadows, those haunted eyes searching for validation. "You matter," Elena shouted, but the girl's form flickered, its essence blending with the smothering darkness. "No." The word ripped through Elena like a fresh wound. She could see it now, the connection they all shared, threading through sorrow and desperation. She reached into the darkness, her fingers stretching toward the girl. "We will fight for you too." The shadows recoiled, a howling wind flickering against her skin, battling against the surge of warmth flooding from Elena's heart. But she could feel it, something shifting beneath the surface, a thread of connection igniting between them, fighting against the darkness. "Just a little more." Elena encouraged, rallying every ounce of love, every moment she had cherished with Lily. It rose within her, a spiral of hope steeped in sacrifice. The girl's eyes widened, reflecting the truth Elena denied for far too long. "You can't save me without losing something." "But, will you risk it?" The question hung in the air, heavy with consequence. Would she be willing to pay that price? Each heartbeat echoed, reminding her that the choices were never simple, always steeped in heartbreak. A crack of light splintered through the shadows, igniting a flicker of warmth against the cold darkness. It was ephemeral, but it gave her pause. Could they tear through the fog of despair? Could they conquer the shadows that held them captive? "Elena, don't. Please." Lily's voice cut through the moment, trembling with a mix of fear and desperate clarity. The shadows seemed to pause, pondering. "What if you lose her forever?" Elena faltered, the weight of the question anchoring her feet. The air pulsed again, thrumming with desperation and a tragic beauty. The shadows watched, waiting, their hunger palpable. "Mommy," Lily's eyes darted between the darkness and the fading girl. "We can't let fear decide. Let us make our own choice." As the shadows loomed closer, giving way to endless choices, Elena's voice quaked. "I am not afraid." What lay ahead? A new truth waiting just beyond the darkness, ready to shatter everything she thought she knew. Would they embrace the light and face the shadows together? Or would they succumb to the despair threatening to swallow them whole? In that moment, a flicker of understanding glimmered in the shadows, an unseen path that promised a shift in fate. The decision weighed heavier than ever. What would it unveil? The shadows throbbed like an angry heartbeat, their whispers slithering into Elena's mind, tightening around her resolve. She felt the room shift, time dilated in a suffocating grip, leaving her teetering on the precipice of despair. Glancing at her daughter, she could see the light in Lily's eyes flickering, wavering under the pressure of dread. "Hold on, Lily!" Elena shouted, her voice breaking through the cacophony like a hammer against glass. "We can do this. Just a bit longer." The atmosphere thickened, a palpable presence pushing against them. But there, beneath the dark weight, Elena found a thread of warmth, a persistent glow pulsing with each note they sang. She imagined it as a bridge, connecting them not just to each other but to that ephemeral girl in the shadows, entwined in suffering yet holding a glimmer of hope. An explosion of dread erupted as the shadows surged again, vicious and relentless. "You'll drown in your own foolishness," they jeered, their twisted forms swirling like a tempest. "Embrace the darkness. It's your only escape." As despair clawed at Elena's throat, she remembered the night spent hugging Lily tightly, the laughter that danced through their home in the midst of trials. Those moments were treasures, the very essence of their lives. "You've got this," she urged Lily, squeezing her hand. "Sing louder. Remember all those songs we sang together?" Lily nodded, her tiny face resolute, and together they harmonized, crafting a melody that lanced through the shadows. Their voices rose defiantly against the dark tide, layering over the screams wrapped in sorrow. The shadows recoiled, and for a breath, the air lightened, but with that moment of clarity came the shadow's ferocity. A black whirlpool surged forward, its hunger insatiable. "It doesn't matter how loud you sing. Your love is weak. It will vanish into nothingness, just like all your hopes." "Not today!" Elena yelled, desperation igniting her spirit. "You don't know us." Suddenly, the girl's form flickered openly, a direct challenge against the shadows. "You have to choose, Elena. Make a decision. Save us all or lose them both." Her voice was fragile, barely audible above the roar of despair, but contained a knowing strength, a truth that Elena struggled to encompass. Elena's heart raced, the room spinning, her mind a flame of conflict. If she chose to fight for the girl, what would happen to Lily? Could she sacrifice one to save the other? "Lily, what if?" "Mommy." Lily's voice cut through the haze, a crystal-clear bell in the storm. "We have to be brave together. You taught me that." The innocence in her words resonated, stirring a fierce protection inside Elena. And then she realized, the fight wasn't just about choice. It was about connection, about love rising against fear. "I want to let you go." Elena screamed into the shadows, feeling each syllable shatter through the air. "Not Lily, not you, no one. We are stronger together." At that moment, the shadows shifted, swirling in disarray, their forms quaking with uncertainty. They recoiled as light poured from the cracks forged by love, illuminating the depths of despair. Flashes of indistinct faces danced in the light, lost souls searching for purpose, yet unyielding in their sorrow. "Do you have what it takes?" The shadows taunted, their voices no longer pure malice but edged with hesitation. "Will you sacrifice it all?" The warmth surged again, more vibrant than before, engulfing them in its embrace. It pulsed with the power of their shared memories, the simple joys of being a family, the echoes of laughter resonating like a battle cry. "Yes!" came the chorus of their voices, trembling but fierce, a defiance against everything that sought to consume them. As they sang, shadows shuddered and began to dissolve, retreating like a receding tide. But amidst the chaos, the girl's voice pulsed stronger. "Sacrifice is never without weight. Can you bear it?" Elena fought panic. Would the cost merely be worth the fight? The girl's eyes bore into her, asking for a truth that lay beneath the surface. An answer. A choice. Elena's heart thundered in her chest. She had to decide, to embrace the uncertainty before them or succumb to the shadow's despair, and then, through the wavering light, she whispered, "No matter the cost, we'll stand together." But the air froze, the shadows tensed, and an all-consuming darkness loomed. What would she do next? Would their choice extinguish the flicker of hope, or light the path that lay ahead? Elena's words echoed in the space, wavering against the tumult of darkness. The shadows recoiled, but their retreat was measured, strategizing, lingering like a storm cloud just waiting for the right moment to unleash its fury. Glancing at Lily, Elena could see her daughter's trembling hands, but the fire in those little eyes burned bright. Then, with a sudden rush, the whirlpool of shadows surged toward them. Their grotesque faces twisted in a kaleidoscope of fury and desperation. "You think love can withstand this darkness?" The shadows shrieked, their voices like nails on a chalkboard. "You have no idea of the cost. You'll lose everything." The girl caught in the swirling mist surged closer, her features as fragile as her plea. "Mom! Fight! Our love is our greatest weapon. But you must believe. Elena." The girl urged, her voice rising like a bell. "You have what it takes. Don't let fear decide for you." Elena shook her head, an unwilling soldier torn between worlds. "What if I can't keep both of you?" The question tumbled out, raw and quivering. "What if saving one means losing the other?" "Mommy, don't!" Lily cried, stepping forward, her small frame brimming with untapped courage. "We can't let them win. You taught me to fight." With that, the shadows lunged again, black tendrils whipping through the air like snakes. They lashed at Elena, curling around her, tightening like a vice. "Leave her alone!" Lily shouted, a tone of determination slicing through the chaos. She stepped closer to her mother, her little voice wielding power against the suffocating dark. The darkness stretched, battling against the unity forming between mother and daughter. Elena inhaled sharply, the familiar feeling of dread washing over her but mingling with a swell of fierce love. "You may think you can consume us, but we are more than this fear. We are love." In that charged moment, an explosion of light surged forth from the depths of their bond, brilliant and blinding. It illuminated every shadowy corner, seams of darkness cracking open like ice in spring, releasing a cacophony of whispers from trapped souls. "Break free!" the girl cried, her form flickering, a beacon guiding them. As if springing to life, Elena reached for the girl, grasping not just her hand but hopeful connection. The shadows screamed, losing their form, mingling with the angry wind that whipped around them. "No! You cannot defy us. You will pay for this." The shadows swirled angrily, the room trembling as Elena and Lily sang louder, their voices weaving a tapestry of raw emotion that overpowered the darkness. They felt every note pulse between them, every heartbeat resonating as an indomitable testament to their love. Together. They shouted, and suddenly, the viscosity of despair lifted just enough for a glimmer of clarity. The weight began to ease, the shadows stalling, their dark forms slipping as they fought to cling to the remnants of their fear, but just as victory seemed within reach, a crash like thunder reverberated through the air, splitting it, pushing against the light. "Your love can't shield you forever." The shadows shrieked in agony. "You don't know what awaits you." Elena's pulse quickened, the words falling heavy between them, igniting fresh fear. What lay beyond this struggle? "Prepare." The shadows screeched. "We're far from finished." Terror gripped Elena's heart, but with a flicker of defiance, she channeled it into her grip on her daughter, raising her chin. "We'll fight for our truth. The connection we share will light our way." Yet as the shadows hissed and renewed their assault, Elena wondered, was their bond powerful enough to banish the darkness altogether? Would they endure, or would the shadows claim them in the end? As the spiraling darkness surged once more, an ominous certainty crept into her heart. What sacrifice would it take to finally conquer their foe? And in that swirling chaos, danger loomed closer, threatening to swallow them whole once again. The shadows crashed against them like waves, relentless and raging. Both Elena and Lily felt their bones shiver, a chill piercing through the air, wrapping around them in tendrils of freezing darkness. Elena's heart hammered against her ribs, reminding her of the stakes. The linchpin to their survival was their tether, yet the very energy binding them together felt strained, flickering like a candle in a storm. "Hold on to me, Lily," Elena shouted, her voice barely breaching the tide of sinister whispers. Anxiety spiraled in her gut as she felt the pull of the shadows. They were becoming more than just forms, they were thoughts, fears, memories clawing at her mind. Images of past failures and insecurities burst through the cracks. "No!" she cried, shaking her head to rid herself of the torment. "We have to focus." Lily's eyes shone with determination. "You're stronger than they think," she urged, her voice a beacon in the flickering gloom. "They want to make you doubt yourself. You can do this." In that moment, something deep within Elena ignited. She could feel the warmth of their connection pulsing, fierce and bright, an anchor amidst the turmoil. "You're right," she gasped, squeezing her daughter's hand. The shadows shied away from the unwavering bond they shared. Yet the darkness wasn't done. With a spine-chilling howl, it surged forward once more, and the air crackled around them, charged and volatile. "What can you do?" they jeered, raspy voices oozing contempt. "Love is a fragile thing. It will break." "Elena," the shadows hissed, "let us not pretend any longer. You care too much, yet your love can't save you. You will always have to choose." "Choose what?" Elena shouted back, anger igniting in her core. "Choose to believe in love. To fight against you. You're nothing but fear itself." Suddenly, from the edge of her consciousness, a flicker of light erupted, almost like a rebel bellowing in the night. It was the fading outline of the little girl trapped within the shadows, her eyes wide with desperation. "Mom! Don't listen. We can be free. Together." The shadows froze momentarily, as if contemplating the sincerity of the bond radiating from mother and daughter. But it was brief, they regrouped, a whirlwind of malevolence spinning faster. Each fragment hurled toward them, grown monstrous and sharp, a storm raw with rage. "Then face the cost," they roared. "You will not escape us unscathed." Elena inhaled, fear crashing against her resolve, a tidal wave threatening to swallow her whole. A moment of stillness enveloped them, a heartbeat stretched, hanging in the air. All she could think about was Lily, and the love they shared. It was chaos blended with clarity, a potent mixture needing to spill forth. "Mommy!" Lily's voice pierced through with the force of truth. "The shadows only exist because we let them. We have to believe in us. In each other." With a fierce nod, Elena shut her eyes, drawing in deep breaths, feeling energy flickering to life in her core. The shadows twisted, anticipating their next move. They coiled around Elena's limbs, whispering sweet nothings of despair, but Elena anchored herself in her truth. Gathering her courage, she let her voice flow like a river, strong and clear. "Together." Light erupted again, stronger than before, radiating like the sun rising after a long night. They beat back the shadows, who screeched with primal fury. But just then, a new voice broke through the tumult, a rich, deep timbre unmistakably older and laced with malice. "You think you can escape? No, it slithered through the darkness like smoke. This is just the beginning." Elena's heart sank. Who was that? A deeper darkness was looming, one that might devour them whole. A choice rippled through her mind, and she realized, love alone might not be enough this time. Panic gripped her. What new terror was approaching? She swallowed hard, face resolute yet trembling. "What do we do now?" she thought, as the shadows flared and began to converge again, hungry for the light. And as the voices of fear crescendoed like a demonic chorus, the final question loomed. Large, in a world teetering on the brink of despair, what price would Elena pay to protect the light within her? As the shadows drew closer, Elena felt an overwhelming urgency pulse through her veins. They were no longer just figments of fear, they were an avalanche, consuming everything in their path. But amidst the chaos, Elena's heart stirred. She realized something crucial. "We are a part of this story," she whispered to Lily, determination etching lines across her brow. "And we have the power to change the outcome." The shadows howled in outrage, drawing closer, their presence a suffocating weight. Elena could feel the darkness seek to chip away at her resolve. "No!" she shouted, holding Lily's tiny hand tight, as if that simple gesture might draw a line in the sand. "You will not take her. Don't let them win." Lily echoed, her voice cutting through the chilling din, steady and fierce. "We are stronger together." Fueled by the strength of her daughter's belief, Elena took a deep breath, summoning every ounce of love she held within. Her heart surged with each beat, creating a beacon of light amidst the encroaching fear. "We can push them away," she commanded, her voice rising as it melded with Lily's, forming a chorus infused with unbreakable love. Their song became a powerful anthem, swirling through the air a fierce declaration against the shadows. Suddenly, the shadowy forms froze, hesitating at the edges of their song's glow. Their hisses were drowned by the melody, the harshness of reality softening like frost yielding to sunlight. Yet the darkness was cunning, whispering temptations into Elena's ear, taunting her doubts. "You'll lose her if you keep fighting for a ghost." But Elena's resolve deepened. "We won't let you manipulate our hearts," she declared, squeezing Lily's hand even tighter. "We are more than the pain we've carried. We are our memories, our joys, and our hopes." With renewed vigor, Elena and Lily's voices climbed together, a sweet harmony threading through the air, defying the darkness that sought to silence them. The shadows writhed, twisting in agony, clambering to invade the warmth filling the room. "You cannot silence us," they bellowed. "Your light is a flickering candle." Yet, the flicker grew into a flame. Memories of laughter, stories shared, and dreams dared ignited within Elena, sending ripples of warmth radiating outward. The shadows began to retreat, their forms dissipating like mist under the rising sun. "We will face the truth together," Elena and Lily sang triumphantly. Each note felt like a battle cry, echoing within the very walls of the house where pain once thrived. As the luminous bond swelled, the apparition of the little girl joined them, her eyes shimmering with gratitude. "You found it. The power of your love," she proclaimed, her ethereal form flickering between reality and the shadows, melding joy and sorrow in one fleeting smile. "You see, the shadows only thrive on fear. You can't lose what is truly cherished." With that, the shadows shrieked one last time, a cacophony of rage erupting from their depths. "You will regret this," they howled, but their voices trailed off, fading as the brilliance of Elena and Lily's song washed over them, purging negativity from the room. Elena felt the cool fingers of despair loosen their grip. The shadows shrunk back as light poured in, illuminating even the darkest corners. Together, mother and daughter had reclaimed their strength, pushback igniting passion and clarity. The little girl's form softened, clarity dawning, she saw freedom, a soul released from burden. In the aftermath, silence settled in the room, embracing them like a long-forgotten friend. "We did it!" Lily squealed, her face glowing with disbelief and joy. Elena dropped to her knees, pulling her daughter into a hug so tight, it felt like the world would fade away in that moment. "We fought, and we are whole." Beneath their chaos and struggle, she felt a burgeoning pride. They had faced fears that could have buried them. As dawn broke, spilling warm light through the window, the past began to heal. The shadows no longer loomed, but appeared behind them now as echoes of lessons learned. Together, they had rewritten the story not just for themselves, but for every soul touched by the darkness. "I love you, Mommy," Lily whispered, a dreamy smile on her lips, eyelids heavy with sleep. I love you, too, sweet girl. Elena wiped tears from her cheeks, her heart light. And we'll sing our story, no matter what. The two settled on the floor of their room, the morning sun casting soft rays around them, revealing a brand new world, a canvas yet to be painted. Resting in each other's embrace, they smiled through their laughter and the shared echoes of victory, forever embracing the light that kept darkness at bay, and somewhere in the shadows, the whispers, though still alive, now carried a softer tone, an acknowledgement of the power held in the bond of love, the one thing they could never take away. As the final light shimmered through the window, Elena knew they would always be ready to sing for the lost, guiding them with every note. Now, before you go, you need to subscribe right now. Don't miss our upcoming exclusive stories, and smash that like button to feed the algorithm. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this conclusion. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible ending. Your support is everything. Let's connect and keep this amazing community growing.